crispy.
Welcome back, everyone. As you can tell by the title of this video, it's a little bit different than the normal toy reviews I've been doing. I've actually had this question come up quite a bit lately for whatever reason. It's come up on my YouTube comments and actually on Instagram too. Somebody messaged me today, just started collecting Minimates, and he's not exactly sure where to pick them up. So I just figured I'd address it since it's come up, and it is actually more complicated. When you hear that question, you think that's kind of a dumb question. You buy them at the store or whatever. And with Minimates, it's a little bit more difficult than that. Actually, as I've gotten more and more into the toy collecting community, you do find out that it's kind of like this with a lot of stuff. Legends and everything else. It can be kind of hard to find to get all of them. But yeah, so we're just going to talk about this. And actually at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a couple images just to let you know. There's some Minimates dropping next Wednesday, which must be the 3rd, I think, January 3rd. But there's some Minimates dropping. There's some stuff that's hitting Toys R Us and probably Walgreens pretty soon. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on what's coming out. So that I'll put the images at the end of the video. But as far as buying Minimates goes, you really won't find them in any big box stores. You won't find them at Walmart. You really won't find them at Target. Some old sets have popped up in their collectibles area, but I've never seen it. Just some other collectors have seen it. Walmart, I've seen them on like one set or two sets on their website, and they actually are really bad with pricing. Like there's scalper prices. Like for a $5 set, I saw they're trying to sell for $20 on Walmart's website. I don't get it, but you just won't find these on the shelves anywhere, like Target or Walmart or any of the big stores. One place you will find that's big box is Barnes & Noble. I've only seen them there once, but it's nothing to depend on. They just kind of randomly show up there. But other than that, I guess I'll go through the most common places to find them. The first of which are comic shops and specialty stores. Comic shops it's actually kind of rare how many stores stock them. I live in Minnesota, and there's like maybe 3 shops in the Twin Cities that actually sell them, but there must be 10, 15 shops in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. I know my store in St. Cloud doesn't stock them, just the 4-packs are the only ones they'll actually have on the shelves, but they'll never have 2-packs on the shelves. And the reason for that is the 2-packs, comic shops are required to buy a whole case of 2-packs. So when you get a wave, you get 4 sets, 4 packs, per wave. But a case, they got to buy 12 of them. They got to buy 3 different sets of that wave. So if you were to go there and say, hey, can I pre-order this? You'll get your 4 sets, but then they'll be stuck with 8 on the shelf. And if they've determined that they don't sell, then they don't sell, at their place. So unfortunately, they're not as popular as they should be. But, that's why comic shops don't stock them very much. Now, the thing that you do get with comic shops is the 4-packs. Every once in a while, I get those 4-pack specialty sets. We have one coming out next week for Black Panther. Those comic shops are not required to order a case of. They can order just a 4-pack at a time. So my shop, Granite City Comics in St. Cloud, Minnesota, they will get me the 4-packs, but the 2-packs, they have me buy the whole case. And usually you can, if you want to buy a case, go for it. The one thing I do recommend is selling the 2-packs immediately. Do not sit on them. Sell them immediately. You'll sell them in the first week, but if you hold on to them for a month and try selling them, it'll be way more difficult. And I'll get to places you can sell them at later. But, that's pretty much it. The 2-packs are hard to get because you got to order a whole case. The 4-packs, they should be able to get you. And if they turn you down, that's just them being lazy. I don't understand why they would do that, but I have heard of comic shops turning people down to actually ordering the 4-packs for them. I don't get it. They're losing out on money. That's their problem, I guess. But the way that we receive these Minimates from comic shops and specialty stores. It's literally the only way to get Minimates with a date on when they actually release, and they're the only way to get them, dependently. Like if you, it's the only place that they'll tell you they come out on the 12th and they will be there on the 12th. All other places to get them are a pain. They don't come out. Like the other places I'm going to talk about are Toys R Us and Walgreens. They'll tell you they're coming, but they will just randomly show up on the East Coast or West Coast and then kind of move around. And I'll get more into that later. Now, the one specialty store I do want to talk about, and this is the number one place in my eyes to buy Minimates, is Luke's Toy Store. Luke's Toy Store, and I'm not sponsored by Luke's or Walgreens or Toys R Us or any of the places I'm going to talk about. This is just me trying to let you guys know where to pick them up at. But Luke's Toy Store is an online store they're located about 2.5 hours south of where I live, right in Minnesota. It's a family-run shop by Luke and his wife, Heidi, and their kids. But you can get all the specialty waves there. Not only does he have the specialty waves there, he sells backgrounds. He makes these really great backgrounds that I use in a lot of my shots. He has really good accessories. He has pretty much the biggest assortment of Minimates you're going to find anywhere for probably the best price. The only thing that can be difficult is the shipping is usually like $7 or $8. Well, if you buy from a different person, they don't insure it, and it's only usually like $3. But with the insurance, it's worth it to go to Luke's. Especially whenever I buy from Luke's, I always make sure I buy a lot at the same time to make the shipping more worth it. But anyways, he gets the specialty waves in his store on time. He usually ships the day of or the day after to get everybody's pre-orders out or whatever you ordered. That's the number one place I would say check out if you're going to order online Minimates. And like I said, dig around, look at his dios and look at his backgrounds and look at all the other cool specialty stuff he comes up with. He really does come up with some amazing stuff. And every once in a while, he'll have Walgreens and Toys R Us exclusives if he finds them in the cities, the Twin Cities. He'll put those on his website. But those are the specialty waves. Now, the weird thing with Minimates is you'll have, a wave, which is 4 2-packs, and then Walgreens or Toys R Us will have a couple of their own exclusives, plus a couple of the ones that are in comic shops. So, with that, I'll go to Walgreens. Walgreens, they've only been selling there for like a year or two, maybe like a year they've been selling Minimates at Walgreens, maybe a little bit longer. But Walgreens, we've mostly been seeing animated waves there. As far as, what kind of Minimates they have, but now we're seeing the movie ones. Their distribution is actually decent. It's not the greatest, but it is decent. Sometimes you'll have a store that, you have 2-packs that sit on their shelf for, like 6 months and they just don't replace them. But eventually, like around the holidays, you'll see stuff come in. But they are also, the other issue I have with Walgreens is they'll come in. It's the same Minimates that are on the peg that have been there for a month. And then one of the random times I'll look at an end cap or I'll just look at the top shelf and I'll see the wave I've been looking for. Who knows how long it's been there, but it was there. It's there now. They don't really organize them as good as they should. But, for the most part, they're decent. I wouldn't call them perfect. They don't. And you never know when these are coming out. You never find them on the website. That's the other issue. I wish you could find them on the website. But, they've literally, I've never seen them on there. But I don't really look all that much just because it's so undependable. But the nice thing with Walgreens, too, is like where I live, I'm within a half hour of like 6 Walgreens. So one of the stores may have what I'm looking for. Anyways, the other kind of bigger box store that sells them is Toys R Us. They are the worst. They suck. I mean, just not to be too negative, but they're terrible. They typically have their own exclusives that you can't get in comic shops or specialty stores, and they're typically worth the most. Just because they're so hard to find, they don't distribute well. You'll go into Toys R Us, they won't update their Minimates for like 2 years at a time. The East and West Coast typically get Minimates right away. But even those guys, I got friends on the East Coast that their Toys R Us are a year behind and they just haven't updated what's on their shelf. They're just, and the customer, the employees don't know anything about it. I mean, every once in a while somebody will luck out and find a good employee that'll notify them when stuff comes in or have an idea of when stuff is coming in. But for the most part, it's like, and we, if you've been collecting Minimates for a long time, you know how terrible they are. They're just a pain. It's like the worst place to get Minimates at, but they somehow end up with the coolest Minimate waves out of everything. It's just nuts, but they're terrible. And the stuff that the nice thing with them though is I'll go in there every once in a while. They do knock down their prices on their older Minimates. So I recently got a second Weapon X Minimate set for like $5. I got the Ghostbusters ones for $3. But otherwise, terrible place. And those are also scattered throughout the store. If you see Minimates in the Marvel section, and that's all you've seen, don't just look there. Go walk around the whole store, look at end caps. They just have them randomly scattered out throughout their whole store. It's terrible. Just disorganized, crappy. When they started talking about how they're going to file for bankruptcy, I was just excited that maybe they'd close down, and then maybe Target or Walmart would pick up. Their exclusives and stuff. Just terrible. Generally horrible place. So then the other one that has actually been a godsend, a place to get Minimates, is the Facebook groups. There's 4 Facebook groups. There's Minimate Multiverse. There's hashtag Minimate Mob. There's Minimates for You and Me. And then there is the Minimates Buy, Sell, Trade group on Facebook. And one thing you'll know about you'll notice about the Minimate community, they're a pretty tight community. I've made a lot of long-time friends there, really good friends there. Just a network from all the way over in England and, the Philippines, New York, Washington, California, quite a few in California. Just met a lot of good people, good friends on there. And the best part about those groups is rarely will you see people scalping the 2-packs, the Minimates, the hard to find ones. Usually it's shelf price. That's what I do to help people out, is shelf price, and a lot of other people do it. And usually if you scalp, people will shout you down. They'll chase you right out of one of those groups, which I like. It's nice. We're all fans of Minimates here. There's no reason to make a buck off other people's misfortune and how crappy Toys R Us or Walgreens distribution is. And that's the other thing too is, once you develop a network of friends, some people got, their Walgreens will stock up right away. Some people, their Toys R Us will stock up right away. And a lot of those people will buy 3-packs, let people know on Facebook that, hey, I got a Toys R Us. My closest Toys R Us is 2 hours away, so I'm kind of, out of luck when I try to find 2-packs. So for me, when I first started collecting, these groups didn't exist. I just went to eBay, and I paid quite a bit more for a lot of the Toys R Us exclusives. So I help out as many people as I can. Actually, I always hope I find my stuff at the Walgreens first. Not so much that, not just because I want my 2-packs, but I also love to help people out and get them what they want, because it's such a hassle. It's just such a headache for all of us collectors. But the other nice thing about the Facebook groups is the used Minimates, the aftermarket. Like people are getting out of the game or they have a bunch of extra Minimates. You can really find old Minimates for cheap on there for a very good low price if you're patient. A lot of people like myself like to buy them right away just to have them right away, but you'll find stuff a year old for a couple bucks off. I mean, that's actually your best. If you're really starting to get into Minimates, join those groups. And if you don't know the person, just ask them if they have any referrals. Most everybody will tell you, hey, this guy right here, I've been doing deals with him. Even do a shout out on Facebook, say, hey, what do you guys think of Levi Schrader? And usually a couple people will chime up and say, hey, he ships right away and he's got a good price. But if you're dealing with a person for the first time, I actually recommend asking you, because there's plenty of old friends that I have on there that are terrible about shipping. So I just, ask around first if you're uncomfortable with the situation. Very good group, so very tight-knit group. They're very good people, so it's out of all the toy groups and all the comic book groups I've ever been in, they're the most drama-free groups. Typically there's, rarely any fighting on there and stuff. It's just people trying to help each other out and get our new Minimates. So then, of course, the last but not least is eBay. It's pretty self-explanatory. It is the most expensive place to buy. I will say that's one thing about the Facebook groups. If somebody's selling something, I think the price might be a little bit high, I'll go hop on eBay real quick and make sure that it's cheaper there than it is on there, and maybe either try to talk them down, or else, if I want it for that price, I'll just get it off eBay. But like I said, I don't like to deal with that. eBay gets their cut, PayPal gets their cut, everybody gets a cut just from the simple exchange that you can do on Facebook itself. So anyways, this is my video about where to buy Minimates. I can't really think of anywhere else. Other people in other parts of the country, other regions, I think they get them at places like Ross, maybe. I've never even heard of that store up until hearing about people finding older Minimates for cheap on there. If any of you guys got any tips on where to find Minimates, by all means, please share it in the comments so other people from other areas can see, where they can pick up Minimates. People are asking. This is actually a subject I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, just because it is so complicated and difficult to find Minimates. It's just a pain, at times. But, that's what we do for the stuff we love, is, suffer through bull crap to get the things we want. So anyways, and then as you notice in the background, it's a Comic-Con. I'll crop this tighter to where it looks like it's more crowded than it actually is. It's Mike and Ming from Comic Book Men. I think it's a pretty cool setup that I got here, but I just had to do something about selling Minimates for the background for me to sit and talk to you guys. But anyways, you'll see this picture up on my Instagram, Minimate Masterworks. Either contact me on there if you have any questions, leave some comments, if you have any questions, or of other places for people to get stuff. Hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the Black Panther wave. There's actually a wave of comic book stuff that's dropping. I'll try to remember to put that picture on first. It's actually like World War Hulk and Old Man Logan and kind of Hydra Cap, Evil Cap, whatever he is, and a couple other cool figures. That wave drops next week at specialty stores and comic shops. The 4-pack for Black Panther drops. The Toys R Us ones are actually dropping right now at some of the Toys R Us, I think, in SoCal. And I forget where the other place was, maybe Connecticut or somewhere on the East Coast. I talked to a guy about it today. And then I'm guessing the Walgreens exclusives for Black Panther will be dropping soon too. So anyways, look for those images, and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for viewing, and we'll see you around.